Hey, what up, guys? I should have adjusted my mic earlier. Hang on once. There we go. So I wanted to go over how things went at the Capitol today. So I want to give a minute for everybody to join in because we already don't even have anybody in here, which no big deal. No big deal. You'll come in. But I wanted to summarize my experience at the Capitol. I also wanted to cover, as I talked about in the live earlier today on Truth Will Set You Free Facebook page. I wanted to cover the live video of what went on Tuesday at the Capitol building at a Senate committee meeting. And the reason why I want to cover that is there's a lot of, I'm not going to say false narratives, but misunderstandings. Let's call them misunderstandings because I think that's a better fitting situation. Even when I was at the Capitol today, there are ground rules that you got to follow. And so we want to make sure we go over some things and discuss that and show you guys what's going on. Oh my gosh, what's going on with my video quality? I see alerts. Hang on. My internet giving me issues right now. Hang on one sec, guys. This is annoying. But share this out while I'm gonna fix this issue. I'm gonna go through it. Share this out, get it out there, like, and all of that fun stuff so we can break the algorithm. Do all of that fun jazz. I want to go over my experience. Like for those that just joined, I just saw a jump in the viewers. I want to go over how things went at the Utah Capitol today, which in my opinion were fantastic. They were great. But I want to share those experiences, but I also want to go over what unable to hear me. That's weird. Can you guys not hear me? System says it can hear me, and I see my dots go out and up and down. Everybody give me a thumbs up or tell me where you're at. Let's say, tell me where you're at if you can hear me. You can hear me. Okay. Deborah, it must be on your end. So I want to go over some things. I want to go over stuff that happened on Tuesday, which there's a big fiasco here locally with Utah Patriots and some of the people that were involved in this a little bit, which Utah Patriots have a lot of respect for. I help them on the side with some things, and nothing against them by any means. But when it comes to what happened on Tuesday, there needs to be some details going over, and I'm going to share that and we'll talk about it. But let me see here. Let me go ahead. So for the Capitol, we're going to start with the Capitol for what I went through today. Still see viewership is low, so share this out, guys, to get it out there. We might not be gaining as much traction anymore because Facebook sucks. Well, social media in general. But at the Capitol, I went and I was sitting down with a senator, and one of the senators that's part of this controversy from Tuesday that we'll go over in a minute. I was actually with him today, and I was going over some of this stuff and trying to talk to him about some of the bills that he proposed, some of the bills that he's really against. And I learned a lot sitting with him on the Senate floor. I was wishing I was able to do more by recording or getting pictures, but was trying to be respectful because we have today and then tomorrow is the end of our legislative session here in Utah. So it gets crazy. It gets super busy this time of year. So I was just being respectful, and I didn't want to bug anybody or do any of that extra stuff because I felt it wasn't necessary. But when I was meeting with him and I was talking to him about a couple bills, I spoke earlier today on my way when I was driving there. I was very opposed to HB 60, which for those that didn't catch that live, HB 60 is a bill that mandates all businesses cannot enforce vaccine mandates or passports. Well, they can tell you have to get it, but they cannot ask you for proof that you got it. So the passport idea. So that's changing here in Utah. It sounds very logical that it might be going through, which is interesting. I thought there would be a little bit more opposed to it, but we'll see how it goes. It will be voted on tomorrow. But HB 60 has some clauses in it. So let me explain HB 60 real quick here in Utah. HB 60 is also enforcing things on patrons or customers, not just employees. And that's where I struggle. I want to respect people's rights to their property and their liberty of how they manage their property. That if they want to restrict it to a certain individual, they can, or a certain party. That's the power of capitalism. That's where capitalism comes in. That's how where you don't like how they do business, you go somewhere else. You take your money and go to their competitor, see if they survive, right? And that's where I live. That's where I don't fit that far, the not far right, but that right narrative. I don't fit there. That's where I usually fit more of the libertarian view. And when I was having this conversation with Dan McKay about the bill, and we were talking about it, we were discussing all the intricacies, and we were having a good conversation because he practically rewrote the bill. He was helping with it, because at the first, HB 60 was a disaster of a bill. It was the worst bill you could ever want. You never want to take away a business company, someone's rights of their property. You never want to take that away from someone ever. You want to have them have every right that they can, and you never want to remove it. And that was how it was proposed at the beginning. This bill has it's got 6 amendments right now. I suspect there will be probably another amendment tonight, for it to pass tomorrow. Our last day we can get this done. But right now it seems to be a cleaner bill, and I'm okay with it. I'm still iffy on the customer side, but I can understand the stance with it and respect that. So we'll see how it plays out. I After my experience today and having conversations, even I spoke with my House representative. Didn't get to meet my Senate representative, because he was really busy in and out of conversations. But Dan McKay is my friend's brother, and so that's how I was able to get in so easily and be able to sit with them. But overall, it was a good conversation, and I think HB 60 here in Utah is probably a bill that we might be able to get around, and we'll pass it, get by it, and then make some amendments to clean it up a little bit later. But we'll learn from the experiences, right? And so I'm kind of changing my stance a bit with that one. There's other bills that look very promising here in Utah that will come up tomorrow and be voted on, and I'm super excited for. One I shared a long time ago because I'm a big fan of tinted windows on cars. And here in Utah, we have one of the worst tint laws in the country. We can't have really dark tint, even though I still run it. So I have to deal with tickets every once in a while because of that. But they're changing it. They're actually giving us the ability to have a little bit darker tint, which is awesome. Which I hate that we even have to ask the government for permission for that, or at least they make laws around it. However, my experience at the Capitol today was fantastic, and I wanted to expand on it and share it with you guys. So when I was down there, I was sitting on the Senate floor, and you can see up to the right. I even see my camera's crooked. What did I do? But so I'm sitting on the Senate floor, and then up and to the right, there's a TV screen that has all the bills that has a bill on that they're voting on, and it tells you who's voted yay or nay. And in going through that, which I already knew, that stuff already exists. There's plenty of TVs around the Capitol showing you what's going on and who's voting. But when you sit down on the Senate floor, you can actually hear more of the side conversations and hear more of the stuff that's going on that you don't get any visibility to. Even if you watch the news every day or watch anybody that's out there, they're not going to be taking cameras onto the Senate floor and recording things. They're going to do it out in the hallway. And you actually hear the conversations and you hear everybody around you negotiating and having some conversations about, hey, this bill, if you give me some support here and I'll support you there. That's how negotiations go on the Senate and the House floors. Is you support a little bit of what I do, and I'll support what you do. That's how decisions are made. That's why it's so important to communicate with your House of Representatives and your Senate representatives, especially locally, not only federally, but for them to hear that so they can actually make those, take that feedback into consideration at the negotiation table. And some things are done behind closed doors. That is absolutely true. But when it comes to you getting onto that Senate floor and you're able to hear how things are going on, it changes your perspective. And so I would encourage you guys to get more involved in that regard if you can, and figure out if you can go down to your capital one day during their legislative session and meet with them and sit with them for an hour, 30 minutes. It will change on how you actually see how the political game is played, and it will definitely help give you a good perspective on things. And you can ask them questions. Like, I already knew some of these questions because I've been involved in it for so long, but I was just seeing if the game has changed, and it seems like it's not. It's still the same. But he took me over to the house because a couple of his personal bills were actually being voted on at the time that I was there. And so we walked over to the house and was looking at see how the bills were going. And I saw some of his conversations and heard him when he was talking about his bills and some of the negotiations that must have happened prior. And it was really cool. You guys need to see that more. And unfortunately, cameras and phones and stuff like that, they're welcome there, but it's not really a positive thing to go out and promote. It's not something that you're just going to go and just be like, I'm on Facebook Live and I'm on the Senate floor. You don't do that. And it's out of respect of what's going on in the process, right? And so it would be a great thing, and I would encourage every single person to go out there and to see it. Now, there are some things, like, for example, that what kind of led into the issue that we had on Tuesday this week here in Utah, to where someone, supposedly the rumor on the internet is he was removed from the committee meeting due to his t-shirt, which is wrong. It's not accurate. That's not the truth. He was removed because he actually wasn't listening to the security, and then the security called Utah Highway Patrol, which is our Capitol Police, and told them to remove him because he was a disruption to the committee. And we'll go over that video in a minute. But those are things that you have to obey too. There is a dress code. They had me put on, I didn't know this from the Senate side. The House side, every time I was there, I wore t-shirts like this, like non-controversial. It was just patriotic gear, and it was never an issue. The only thing they ask you is, when I was sitting on the floor, is I always have to remove my hat, which is fine. That's not a big deal. I wear a hat on these lives so my bald head doesn't shine and distract everybody. That's practically it. But overall, when it comes to being there is a dress code and there is an etiquette that should be followed. And the following is just to ensure that you're not going to be that super controversial person in the middle of the room, distracting from the committee conversation and the voting that's going on. You don't need to be in there wearing, oh, I support this bill, and then someone in front of you is against it, and then it causes an argument. That's not where you do those things. And that's why those things exist. It really makes a whole lot of sense. But when you get an opportunity, I would encourage you to go and do it. But let's go ahead and show you what happened on Tuesday, and then we'll kind of touch on that a little bit more from the etiquette side. Give me 2 seconds to pull that up.
Have you put your stickers away?
Where do they need to go?
Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear the audio real quick. Throw in the thumbs up, please.
Just pull them up, put them someplace
You
where
want
they can't be seen. So,
Yeah, why do you have the Ukraine flag on?
Thank you. I'll take the other one too.
No, I want to keep it. I'll just turn it over.
Okay, if you turn it over, we will take you. Have you come out.
The highway patrol said that.
I'm just telling you. You just.
No, he said there's a law. Whatever the committee chair says is the same as law. Is that true?
So
That's what he said.
Okay, I'm going with that. If you want to argue with me, I'm going to have you come out.
Well, what law am I violating? I just want to know.
Are you going to give up the sticker, or are you not?
You didn't say I had to give it up. Just put it away.
Okay, do not show it.
Is it put away? Yeah.
Let me pause that really quick, and I'll switch views here for a second. So he was really calling out the other guy, the older guy in the suit. He was like, why do you have a Ukrainian flag on your lapel, right? It was on his right side of his jacket. And he was really calling that out, which fine, sure, but is that really the place you do that? No. Like, he was asking you about a sticker that you were wearing that was showing direct support of a certain bill that was being discussed in this meeting. And so they don't want you to, the rules are you don't actually have those things in these meetings. This is starting to get more enforced now. It's been a long-standing rule and not really enforced. And how I see this situation, I see this situation very differently than some of the people that are freaking out about it online. I see it as this is same as George Floyd's situation. If you would have just obeyed and listened to their directions, like, hey, just put all your promotion of that bill away, and you wouldn't have had this confrontation. And I'll show you the end result. Like, that's the part that you guys haven't seen yet. And if you were to do that, you don't end up in that situation. You're calling out this flag that he has on his jacket. Sure, he tells you in a second that it's because of it's a veteran lapel pin, but what he's referring to as the veteran pin is on the left side of his jacket, not the one on his right. The one on his right is Ukrainian, which was very interesting to see today. There was a lot of Ukrainian lapel pins on jackets today, and they were all on the right side, not the left side. I was kind of surprised to see that. But does that matter? Is that why you need to be talking to him when you're breaking a rule? No. Well, let's continue this, and we'll go over, see what's happened next.
Yeah, why do you have a different flag?
This is a veteran's flag, sir.
The Ukraine flag is? Did you?
Okay, give me your sticker.
No.
So stay here in my car. Put a yellow star on your arm. They let us do
Stickers put away. If a sticker is that threatening, then he's very shallow.
Sir, he's not breaking the law.
Wait, how is he not compliant? I'm just stickers away.
No,
Stickers gone. Isn't that what you asked? The stickers away. They cannot have flags, right?
My shirt's political too. No, I put it away.
Can you guys stand up? Please?
I asked a question.
Right here.
Sir, I put it away. I put it away, sir.
You guys, I need you out the way for a minute.
Let me point out something. Notice nothing happened to these women, these ladies, and the guy that was sitting next to them at the very end. Nothing happened to them because they actually listened. Nothing. Because they were listening, they just asked them to step out of the way, please, and they were going to come and talk to this individual and say, come outside with me. They were just going to go into the hallway and have a conversation. This guy continues to press the argument because he thinks he's in the right. Let's continue.
I put it.
You're being removed from the meeting, so.
I complied with his order.
You guys, it's to account.
So
you've been asked to leave by security.
My shirt is political as well.
So come on.
I put the sticker away. I put the sticker. I put the sticker away.
It's not doing anything wrong.
Hey, I put the sticker away.
You're not bothering us.
Who's being a jerk?
He's a good man.
I put the sticker away.
I'm talking for a minute.
He's a good man.
You just touched me when I complied with his rule.
So,
Let me know.
I put the sticker away, sir.
See, that's an obvious thing that this officer on the left just said. He just kicked you out of the meeting. And that is that other guy that made that call when he did this, and he pointed to him. That is an indication that he is telling the officers to remove him from the meeting. That is not the officer's fault. Not one bit. It looks like my internet's having issues again. Dang it. Sorry, guys, for the poor video quality. It looks like it's coming back. But when it comes to this situation, he got physically removed. And he wasn't handling the situation right, which is exactly how I say I compare this directly to the George Floyd situation. If you actually just listen and obey the officer's orders, they give a lot of leeway. A lot of leeway. They're both trying to work with him, just saying, hey, come with me. Come with me. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to force you. They don't have to carry you. They don't have to put you in cuffs. Come with me. They want you out of the meeting. Let's go talk in the hallway.
Let me tell you what's happening. You've disrupted the meeting.
I've disrupted.
Okay, all right. Are you listening? Are you listening to me? So you've disrupted the meeting.
Is that right if we just put this on over? Here, I'm sponsored.
They've asked you to be removed from the meeting, sir.
Just,
You don't want to see. You don't want to see we the people.
Okay, are you
just
listening?
put this on? And then
So
No, they're worried about the sticker.
you're being kicked out. Are you listening to me? So you can just be kicked out and you're good. Or we can remove you and that and other things.
We're in a recess. The meeting isn't disrupted.
So
That's right.
it's a recess.
The 5 minutes is over. I'll
Okay,
sit down.
your decision.
It's recess.
It's in recess right now, and he just said the 5 minutes is over. Stop being ignorant and being dumb. And I apologize. It looks like video quality is coming back. My ISP has been a joke lately, but they were in recess. The 5 minutes is over now. He admitted it. So the recess is over, and he's like, "I'm not disrupting the meeting. We were in recess." No, they're trying to start the meeting again, and that's where it takes. You got to understand the whole picture of what's going on. But this video is going around the internet, as in he's being removed because of his shirt, which is wrong. And no, his shirt wasn't actually the situation. The situation is because of the sticker, and it was supporting a certain bill in a committee meeting, which is against the rules.
Do you want to be arrested or do you just want to leave?
Is it recess or not?
Do you want to be arrested or do you want to leave?
I complied. I took the sticker away.
That's your choices. You tell me.
Are we not in recess?
Which do you want to do? Do
Are we in recess or not?
you want to leave? Okay, then you can be arrested.
I thought we were in recess.
So, okay, then you've made your decision.
Are we not in recess? Why are you doing this? Hey, stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Where is recess?
What the problem is?
Why did you let him in? If that's what the problem
This
is.
is bad.
I'm going to pause it real quick. So this is a compilation of a whole bunch of people that sent in clips. So we're not going to go over the whole 15-minute video. But this is from the beginning, not the beginning, but the confrontation between the UHP and him, which you guys all saw from his phone that's in his right hand, as you guys can see there. And now this is a view from a different angle. But let me show you, let me get to where he gets pulled out, and we'll go through this. See, and you hear the commentary in the background because of his shirt. This is the problem. No, it's not because of his shirt. It's because he wasn't obeying the directions, like getting rid of the stickers, which is a rule within the Capitol, which I just learned. And I was shown the rules. And it's been around forever. You can't go into these meetings wearing any clothing or stickers or anything to promote certain bills to keep the committee's meetings calm and having a conversation instead of causing an outrage, which is what's happening. So let's go.
Give him 5 minutes.
Somebody film.
Mike, I got you. Mike, Mike, I got you.
Please film.
Sorry,
We're beyond that, all right?
How am I disrupting the meeting during a recess?
It happened prior to that, all right?
What happened?
It happened prior to that, right? And this is a key point. It's even being talked about on the internet by some people. And it was even confirmed today when I was talking to a family member that I know that is part of that security team before that usually gets involved before the officers. There was more rowdiness from certain individuals prior to this incident. And so clearly they didn't know the rules about following rules, following to be in the Capitol and to make your voice heard. You don't go in and act a fool. You go in and make sure that you represent exactly what you need to, but obey the rules of the property that is there. You can't just act a fool.
Please film. Somebody.
Mike, I have you. Mike, I'm filming you.
You're uncrossed.
Notice they ask him to stand up. They try to get him to walk. He refuses. So these officers have to carry him.
Hold that left leg up.
He was given 5 minutes to take the sticker off, and he took it off. Hey,
Help! Somebody please help.
Mike, I'm right here. You're good. I'm filming you.
Please help me.
Can you guys explain?
Come.
5 minutes to take the sticker off. So
He was asked
Help me.
to
It's
leave.
American.
he took the sticker
So
off.
notice-
So what's going on now?
Here you go.
You see the shirt he has? It was
Yeah.
considered political. He was asked
Help me.
to
It's
leave.
American.
This is where
People on a shirt.
this is where misinterpretation came in. This guy was thinking it was over his shirt, but no, it was not. It was over the sticker. And so a lot of people are getting upset here in Utah thinking that it's about the shirt. But if you watch the entire video and understand all the context around it, no, he was removed because of the sticker, not because of his shirt. This officer on the right just happens to be wrong.
That's us.
It's a credit union.
I get you.
So-
I get you.
So what he was? Is he supposed to just be naked or what? Guys,
Start walking. We know you can
guys,
walk, right? Please just walk.
guys, we're in America. Guys, he has a shirt that says "We the People."
And having an American flag is a constant.
We can't.
Notice he's not even walking. I don't know exactly his circumstance or situation, but he got into that room and was sitting in a normal chair, so I assume he can walk. And so now he's just refusing for some reason. I don't know what happened, but he has to get carried everywhere. Like they even ask him here in an elevator, which is where we're going to stop the video here in a minute. But they ask him to stand up, and he refuses. He just sits on the floor of the elevator.
Guys, can you just stop doing this?
Yeah. Just walk. Come on, stand up. Stand up.
Guys, explain.
I heard that you were placed under arrest, so we're not.
I didn't hear that, sir. Nobody has told me.
No one said that.
That is a lie. We can go back to where the beginning of it, where the officer said, and it was recorded from this guy's phone when he was standing there, they said, you can walk out with us and we can go and talk, or we can place you under arrest. That was explicitly said. It is a complete lie to say that that was not happening. That did not happen.
Why is he under arrest?
Nobody has told me anything. You
Guys,
dragged me out of
just let him go. Figure it out. Like he took his sticker off.
it. Please help.
Ready? Here we go.
Guys, he took
He's just gonna
he took
I
the sticker off.
didn't mean to
guys.
pause. I meant to unmute. You notice, like, he doesn't want to walk. He just forces them to carry him.
Guys, that's gonna break his arms carrying him like that.
It won't break his arms.
I
That's
can't
my
even handle
feelings,
this.
Lynn. That's my feelings. And people are running, and this is going around media all around Utah.
Hey, guys, let's have a little bit of common sense. I understand.
All around Utah.
Please help.
And he's saying, please help. It's like, dude, how about you cooperate? You are behaving like George Floyd. You might as well just start saying, I can't breathe. This is not how you make a stance, and this is not how you make your community better. I understand what he wants is he wants HB 60 passed, which is a bill that is I'm starting to become more of a fan of. But when it comes to this whole thing, the sticker, Amber, the sticker says HB 60 or in support of HB 60, which is against the rules to be in a committee meeting to have anything supporting a certain bill or being voted on in that committee meeting. You can't do that. That's against the rules at the Capitol building. And he should not comply with this unconstitutional police activity. No, Margaret, that's wrong. You are incorrect. It is rules. If you don't want to follow the rules of the property, which is You can't do certain things by having a sticker of support of a certain bill. You need to respect that of the property. You have to make sure that you follow some rules. And you can't just go in and do what you want. You also must have missed the part at the beginning of this video when I was telling you some of these people were acting a fool earlier before this committee meeting. And they were already having a target placed on them because they were not really being respectful there. We'll continue.
So he took the sticker off when he was asked to. So why is he under arrest?
During the recess.
Guys, he took it off during the 5-minute time he was allowed to take it off.
He took it off within the 5 minutes, which was the recess. But then he openly admitted, which no one is standing up and fighting for and talking about, fighting for the officers and saying that he admitted the 5-minute recess is over. He said it in his own video earlier. If the 5-minute recess is over, you're not in recess anymore. And he openly admitted it.
He gave us 5 minutes to take it off.
Somebody please help me.
Why
Help
is
me. Somebody come with. Please.
Guys,
help me.
I'll come with you.
Exactly, Gail. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like when it comes to these circumstances, and this is why people struggle to get their position and their place and make movement on bills or anything like that, because they think that they can just behave in any way that they want because it is a tax paid for and funded building. And these people work for the officers and all of that work for the people, which is true. But you still have to respect some rules. This guy didn't even want to walk. He made the officers carry him. It's ridiculous. Super ridiculous. All in all, like when you go down to the Capitol, I've been in that Capitol with very controversial stuff on shirts and stuff like that. I was not in some of these meetings when I did that. And so that's probably where I was never really ran into this situation. But I also am respectful when I'm there. If they ask me like, hey, sir, we're cleaning out this room. Could you please exit? Yeah, I'll walk out of the room. You don't just be like, oh, it's my room or you represent me. You got to have some respect. If you want them to respect you, there is no difference in the way this behavior was done than what BLM has done last year in 2020. Well, 2 years ago now, 2020. No difference. Because you're not showing anybody any respect to be able to get any respect back. You are just being ridiculous. They take him down downstairs into the basement, which is where the processing rooms are, to where you go into the stuff. It's kind of frustrating. Like, this really bothers me that this much attention over this, and the media is running with it here in Utah and being like, he was removed for his shirt. No, he was not. If you actually watch the videos, he was removed because he did not listen and follow the rules that he was instructed. All they did is they asked him to take off the stickers supporting HB 60, which is a bill here in Utah, and they asked him to remove them and to where they're not to be seen, because that's a rule within the Capitol. You can't. I even had to wear, which I wish I would have known ahead of time, I even had to put on a suit jacket and a tie to be able to sit on the Senate floor today, which is fine. I obeyed and I did it because I wanted to be there. I also wanted to talk with some people, some of the senators and the House of Representatives, because I wanted to make progress on some things that I felt passionate about. If you want to make those changes, do those things. Don't act like a child. Do those things. This, making officers carry you because you refuse to walk, is acting like a child. It's ridiculous. But enough about this guy. He doesn't need any more attention. Let me see if there's... This is Dan McKay. This is the guy I was sitting with today. And he was outside talking with a couple people. I don't know exactly who because they don't show their face. I think I know who one of them are. But all he was doing is just politely explaining, hey, there's a rule. Like, he wasn't following the rules. And Dan McKay is who's getting crucified for this. When he didn't really make the decision to have the person removed, the person at the beginning of the video, this individual, which you see as badge right here, Daryl Griggs, this guy made the call to be able to have him removed because he wasn't listening. Not Dan McKay. Come on, guys. Use your brain. This whole video debunks everything in the description here. The entire video does. And it shows what's the problem with the community that's trying to get involved. They don't actually think. It's all emotion. All emotion. And that's one of the things that I was talking to a couple of the senators about. I was like, how often do you guys get messages and get things done when it's all emotion coming from your constituents? Who represents you? And they get really lost and confused because they're like, I don't know if it's really just passion or if it's an overreaction. If you want to make a change in your community and you want to do better, be civil. Have a solid conversation with them. Ask to meet with them. Don't go and act a fool in a committee meeting where you're going to have mixed results of people that are going to support the bill or be against the bill. You don't do that in that meeting. You do that in other places. If you want to do a protest outside the building, protest outside the building. That's where you do those things. But you don't go into a committee meeting not knowing the rules and not following any direction and just pushing back. Who cares if the guy has a Ukrainian flag on his right lapel? Who cares? What does that have to do with you not following any direction? That is more the situation. But overall, let me see if I missed anything. No, this is the ending of Dan McKay's conversation. But let me stop the screen share. That's what I wanted to show you guys. It's super frustrating. I want these things to be known and share them and to be able to give you guys information to where we can actually be productive. If you want to make a change and you want to actually have your senators listen to you, you got to follow some type of being a civil human being. Going in there and just acting like you don't have to listen to them, that's ridiculous. You're not going to be productive at all. Let's look at some of these comments. I missed some of them. You want respect, you have to give respect. 100% Sherry. I 1,000,000% agree with you. He made them carry him so it would look like cops are bad. Just respect the rules. Right. Which the part that's frustrating, the people that are actually promoting this and the group that I don't know if he's really a part of, but he was with a lot of them. They all backed the blue. He made the officers look bad in this situation when it was all him. That's ridiculous. The officers only did as they were instructed, and they did their job. Yeah. Did they charge the guy that smoked a blunt in Feinstein's office? Mr. Doobie Smoker? I'm pretty sure they did. We had him on one of our lives. We did a show with him. Amy, I'll get back to you on that one. I think they did. Too funny how law-abiding citizens are kind, yet BLM are having a pass. This is true. But this guy wasn't abiding by rules. So why would he get any of that same respect? He wouldn't. But BLM gets a handout. And I agree with you. They shouldn't. But if you want to make progress, you got to make the changes. And you actually got to work with people. Don't they ask when election voting that no one have anything showing support of anyone? Think it is the same. 100%. You can't go into a voting poll, at least here in Utah. There might be something in another state. There might be something in some random state that, you can wear vote for Trump or Trump 2020 or whatever to a voting poll. But I don't think so. I think it's all consistent across the board. You can't wear any leading information like that on how you're going to vote or what your stance is. You can talk about it, but you can't wear any clothing like that. Let's see. If we want to change, we have to be civil. Focus. 100%, Lynn. And I missed the beginning. Why is he being arrested? I'll have to rewatch. There are a lot of people doing stupid things. We are threatened that we will be arrested if we are carrying an Australian flag in Australia, AU. Elderly woman. Yeah. Wow. That's disgusting, Anne. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Like, they shouldn't be doing that at all. But when it comes to him being arrested, he wasn't following any type of direction from the Capitol Security Department, the security guys. He wasn't obeying the Utah Highway Patrol, which is where those are the police officers of the Capitol building, which are always very nice. I talk with at least a handful of them at a time when I go down there. I shake their hands and thank them for their service, and I never have issues. Imagine that. I am there probably more than that individual was, and I have never had a negative reaction by security or police department. A lobbyist? Sure. Yeah, a lobbyist has yelled at me and told me to go to hell and all kinds of stuff, but yeah, they're lobbyists. So I agree with you. Always respect the rules. If you don't like them, run for office and change them. That's exactly, Jeanette. I had some of those conversations leading into what I can do in the future. The Senate passed the bill to stop the mandates, 48 to 47. Which one are you talking about? What bill? Now to the House. Are you going to run? I was actually going to run this year. I was going to run for county council. But I realized I didn't have enough time to get my stuff in order to be able to run this year. I made that decision in early February, and I was talking to Russo and I was talking to many other people in legislature here, and I decided I didn't have enough time to get ready for it. And so I pulled out, and I will be ready for the next election for running in some sort of manner or elected official. I don't know what. We'll see what options I have when I get there. But yes, you will hear from me on that. It's of those things where you didn't follow directions to go back outside and talk, right? Exactly. That's all it was, is they were saying, come outside, because he even openly admitted the meeting was over. The 5 minutes are up. Well, yeah. So the recess is over. So it's going to start the meeting again. And now you are disrupting it because they can't restart after the recess because of what you're doing. They asked you to come out. They said, come out or you'll be arrested. Come out with us or you'll be arrested. And he kept pushing back and fighting. So what happened? He was arrested and he acted like a child and was carried out of the building. That is not how you make an impact in your community. If you want to make an impact in your community, behave like a civil human being and respect authority. Now, I'm not saying respect tyranny. This is not tyranny. This is authority, and you're on somebody's property, and have some respect for that. For the way you acted is not acceptable at all. But that's what I wanted to recap today. My experience at the Capitol, I didn't get carried out in handcuffs. I didn't get charged with a Class B misdemeanor, which, by the way, is what he was charged with. So be it. I had a great conversation with many individuals. I even got to shake my House of Representative that I've never been able to meet in person. Got to be able to talk with her and exchange some things. I also even sent her a bill proposal this week that hopefully more conversations can come from, because cyberbullying and bullying in schools is a problem here in Utah, and we're seeing child suicide or children committing suicide more frequently here in Utah because of it. So I came up with an idea that I want to see our school boards and schools do, which is they are mandated and forced to report every incident of bullying. Then they have to put it up on a website. They don't have to release public personal information, but they have to report the incident and put the incident up to where now parents actually have that, because here in Utah, what we have as a problem is some schools are not addressing the issue at all. Parents report it and it falls on deaf ears. Nothing gets done about that. And we need to change that. We need to actually make it to where the parents in our state have more power and a visual representation of what's going on. And for them to actually see that, to be able to, we had 15 incidents this week, then parents need to be showing up to school boards and be like, what is going on? So I want to create more visibility around that. I had that idea this week. I proposed it. It's really late in the game to get a new bill in during this legislature. It might have to wait until next year or be a special session. So I sent it to her, and she said she will get back to me after the session is over, which is tomorrow night, because this is the chaotic time. And that's why I went today, is I wanted to be there at the chaotic time and see how things go. But I wanted to share my experience, go over Tuesday, knock some things out and share it out because it's frustrating to see that people want to make the changes in their community, but then they act like this at the Capitol. If you want to make changes, you have to start showing some respect and going through things with them, being the example for others. I've never had an issue with anybody at security in there. The only thing they've had to come up and tell me is I forget to take off my hat occasionally when I walk into some rooms. That they just come over, tap me on the shoulder, hey, take off your hat. Okay, and I do. But make it a great day, guys. It's Thursday, Friday Eve. I just want to share my experiences and clear the air on a little bit of the issues going around Utah. But I just hope that you guys learned something from this. If you did, please share it out. Get it out to other people. 45 minutes is much longer than I thought I was going to go. But make it a great day, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you guys later.